When you read the Beatitudes for the first time, it's easy to be confused because Jesus seems to be taking certain values, certain truths, and turning them upside down and inside out. In fact, he says there are certain inherent blessings or benefits that we experience when we choose to embrace things that our society or our culture says are either unimportant or undesirable. Nowhere is this more evident than in the second Beatitude, where in Matthew chapter 5, verse 4, Jesus says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." This is completely contrary to the way our world looks at mourning and suffering. Mourning, that profound sense of grief and pain that we feel when we've lost something or someone very close to us, according to the world's way of view, has no intrinsic worth or value. The best we can hope for is just to endure it and get through it, and eventually that sense of pain will diminish as we grow less and less attached to the thing or the person that we've lost. A number of years ago, two authors wrote a book on the whole grief recovery process, and they trace the story of a little boy named Johnny and the lessons that he learned about recovering from losses in his life. When 5-year-old Johnny's dog dies, he is just devastated. I mean, this has been his best friend, his companion. The dog has slept on his bed every night. But in his father's effort to console him, his father says, "Johnny, don't cry, because next week we'll go and buy you another dog." Well, Johnny has learned the first two valuable lessons about dealing with grief: bury the pain, replace the loss. Several years later, his heart is broken again when the girl that he has dated for 2 years breaks up with him. When she tells him that it's over, he is just devastated. This is the girl that he had envisioned spending the rest of his life with. His father again comes alongside and says, "Johnny, you're a man now, and real men don't cry." His mother, ever the sensitive one, says, "Johnny, there are plenty more fish in the sea." And again, the message is reinforced. Bury the pain, replace the loss, grit your teeth, and just get through it. This is the way that our society handles grief, that grief is simply something that we have to endure to get through it before we can begin to get over it. But Jesus puts an entirely different spin on it. He says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted." In other words, don't ignore it, don't bury it, but rather embrace it, because even pain has a redemptive purpose in our life. Jesus understands that pain and suffering are very much a part of life. That anytime we open ourselves up to someone, anytime we love someone or invest in something, we run the very real possibility, no, probability that at some point in time we will be hurt. The only way we could do that is if we remain emotionally detached or distant. And Jesus says if we do that, we miss out on the very best part of life. So let's see if we can figure out what it means to experience a sense of blessing even in the darkest moments of our life.